O ye believers, the human enters this world, but it often so happens that most humans leave this world dirty. But the beginning should be the end, and the end should be the beginning. So how does every human get into this world? Pure, innocent. And pure and innocent, we should leave as well. From the divine presence, the Lord, Allah Azza sent us from His divine presence in a state of pureness into this world. We all are innocent. We are all being born innocent. And we were being created innocently. And with a state of pureness, we get that into this world. With the light of the Lord get into this world. But most of the human don't get to the point to stay clean and don't get to leave clean. From Allah we come in a pure state, and to Allah we go back again, no matter what. We will get back to Him, but in what state? Allah wants us to be at least in the same state of pureness to get back into His divine presence. Never does anybody get into the divine presence in a state of dirtiness. He will never let that happen. There's so many guardians, so many borders on their way to the divine presence. And once the human died in a dirty state, do you really think you will get into the divine presence? You won't even get into the first gate, through the gates of the first heavens. There are those guardians, and they're going to ask, who is knocking at the door? And when the soul says that human who's in a dirty state, left in that dirty state the world, and he tells them his name, because all the dirty people are already known to them. The good people and the clean people, they have a wanted list as well. They have also a list of those who are wanted, and a list of the VIPs, the stars of the heavens. And once they look on that list and say, he's one of those dirty ones, he will not ever enter. What it is asked for those who cannot find any orientation. Because in the hereafter, until the Yawm al-Qiyamah, the last day, last judgment day, they will get lost. Allah is clean and pure, and He loves clean people and pure people. Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Without a doubt, his heart was cleansed by Allah, and in a pure state he came. In a pure state he lived, and in a pure state he left. He actually never left, but we say we put it like that. No. If someone exists with that name, with a name of a human being, once it exists, and who is being called 5 times a day, it can never be Muhammadan Rasulullah. He cannot be gone. He is still there. He only shows himself to those who have pure eyes, pure ears, and a pure heart. Those are the saints. So what do we have to do in Islam? Allah says Islam is the half religion. Half of the religion is cleanliness. That's why we are cleaning ourselves 5 times a day, at least. the clothes of the Sahaba Ikram, those who followed him of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were all poor people, and they only maybe had one piece of clothes, and they never had a second set of clothes. They didn't have a closet, they didn't have the luxuries, and only they only had a closet for those who are luxury, and they only had only one cloth. Every Sahaba, because the clothes they were wearing it for all day and night, but they never stank, they said. Their clothes always smelled like the smell of roses. That's being orally traditioned. And our Grand Sheikh says, in Damascus, once a grave, a maqam of a saint, and he had been buried for 500 years already. And they wanted to build a road, and they took him out. And he was still alive, and the body was still warm, and it was 500 years ago. And I was with him, with my Grand Sheikh, Maulana Sheikh Nazim said, when he was 25 years old. From that grave, such a beautiful smell of roses was wafting out, and thousands of people were there, and they all took from that earth, and it smelled like roses. 500 years had passed. So why? They came into this world in a pure state, and they led a pure life and followed all the orders by Allah, and only took as much as they needed, not as much as they could, but as much as they needed. And they only had on their tongues the name of Allah and followed what He had told them to. So once a very, very, very old man came to our Grand Sheikh Abdullah Fazidar, and he was 147 years old. And my Sheikh was kissing his beard and told me, to Sheikh Nazim, he's one of the saints. He was visiting me. And his beard and all his body was smelling of roses. And I asked, how is that possible? He said, on his tongue, there's always La ilaha illallah. Day and night, he said La ilaha illallah. If his tongue was silent, his heart was continuing La ilaha illallah. And those who has never stopped saying La ilaha illallah on their tongue and their heart of that call of Tawheed, that of La ilaha illallah, will always be of the roses, smell of the roses. And the Sahaba never wore any perfume, but they smelled of roses, and they were the roses themselves, and they smelled of them. So be careful. Allah loves the clean ones. Islam is the religion of cleanliness, and with the body, with the physical being, stay clean, and then this cleanliness of the soul. And be careful of what you think, what you live. Don't be envious or jealous, and no backbiting, no fighting. You lose your smell of roses, and slowly, the smell of roses will leave, and the smell of the toilet is going to appear, and you're going to start stinking. So keep your ears clean, keep your tongue clear, keep your heart clear, keep your eyes clear. So looking at good people, good things, and not looking at bad things, don't listening to bad words. Don't bring the tongue, no bad backbiting, no bad words, no complaining, no fighting, and the heart, no bad thinkings, no bad thoughts. If you keep keep sake of that and keep the tongue and everything clear, they will leave this world as pure as well. Just like him, as he was sent into this world. So Allah asks that you return in a state of a baby, so pure and innocent, and that the human shall return to him as well. And then up there you will look like the Schengen border. There will be no border. There are no borders in the EU, because like in that Schengen tradition, and just like that you're going to be able to travel freely through all the heavens, as your smell of roses is going to go ahead of you, and the angels, those standing guard, will know, oh, he is one of us, and they can pass through like that. No need to control anything. And it's our are looking for to have a passport of the Schengen connection, to move freely. But what about your heavenly travels? Are you not thinking about that? Aren't there no borders and no problems and queues to wait? So be careful of your eyes, your ears, your tongue, your heart. Leave this world in a state of pureness, of purity, and may your smell of roses get ahead of you, and all borders be pushed aside. May there be no border control.
Hürmetel Habib, Ya Allah.